Today, lions, tigers, and crocodiles still rule the headlines of the wild. But imagine this. Out on a wind-beaten savanna, a shape steps out of the Ice Age and looks at everything we fear like snacks. That's Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat. Not a tiger in the modern sense, but a Pleistocene specialist forged from muscle, patience, and a once-in-a-planet weapon. A pair of canines nearly 28 centimeters long. If this animal still lived today, our world, from food webs to ranching, from near-wild tourism to parts of the global economy, would shake in ways we're not ready for. Ready to cross the line between now and the deep past. Look closer. Smilodon stood roughly a meter at the shoulder, about 2 meters from nose to rump, and weighed around 300 kilos. The front half was built like a powerlifter, massive shoulders, thick forelimbs, designed to slam big prey to the ground rather than win a sprint. The tail was short, the top speed only about 50 kilometers per hour, slower than a lion. But every kilogram leaned into one idea: control. Those long, curved sabers weren't for a generic throat clamp like modern big cats. They were precision blades meant to pierce vulnerable blood vessels once the animal was pinned. Every part of the body tells the same story. You don't have to be the fastest if you're the one who finishes the fight. Roll back the clock. From about 2.5 million to 10,000 years ago, Smilodon dominated grasslands across the Americas. That world included mammoths, ancient camels, giant ground sloths, and primeval bison. Then the picture changed. Warming climate, fewer mega prey, and early humans entering the scene. Tar-black fossils at the La Brea pits still whisper about pack ambushes and quick, surgical kills. If extinction's curve once swept them away, imagine a surviving lineage. Or a high-tech comeback, stepping into the 21st century. What niche would they reclaim, and at whose expense? Start with wild ecosystems. On the edges of woodland and open savanna, where grass stands high and dry riverbeds carve natural choke points, Smilodon would operate like a special forces team. No marathon chases like hyenas. No wasteful sprints like cheetahs. They'd choose terrain that does half the job for them. Thickets, cut banks, and narrow crossings. When a buffalo or a young elephant slips away from its herd, you'd hear a heavy, driving tackle. See the clean, tip and pin, and then those canines find the shallow, deadly target. Food webs reshuffle overnight. Lions lose share in the giant prey slot. Scavengers feast more often, but take bigger risks around ambush sites. One harsh dry season later, local biodiversity metrics wobble, enough to force park managers to rewrite patrol and fire break strategies for the next decade. Now move to agriculture and livestock. The near-wild margins where grazing land braids into reserve buffer zones. In Texas, in the Argentine Pampas, across parts of southern Africa. A single Smilodon pack could wipe out significant stock in one night if fencing is weak, grass is tall, and cattle scatter. They prefer big targets: bulls, water buffalo, adult steers. So the economic hit lands hard, prices rise, agricultural insurance strains, and the security budget on every ranch inflates. Herding routines change. Cattle are bunched at night. Guardian dogs work in teams. Ground sensors and floodlights track abnormal movement. But Smilodon learns quickly. Leave one corner overgrown and unpatrolled and they're back, silent as shadow. Gone again before dawn gives you a clean footprint. What about near-nature tourism? At the fringe of the Serengeti, along buffer camps near Yellowstone, or in migration corridors where visitors expect wild but safe, Smilodon turns a curated experience into a genuine stress test. They're after wild ungulates at waterholes, but tense, cooking smells, and footsteps can tip a delicate situation into chaos if safety gets sloppy. One bite into a tire, one shove into a chassis, one sideways launch from tall grass, without ever touching a person, could be enough to suspend safari operations and push camp several kilometers farther from the action. The industry would have to rewrite its rulebook. Routes that avoid classic ambush slots, viewing times away from peak night hunts, staff trained in pack predator behavior. Close to nature can still be magical, but the safe distance now has to be measured in meters, in light discipline, and in hard rules everyone actually follows. Global ripple effects arrive once maps of Smilodons spread with climate and prey. In parts of Africa, they compete with lions and hyenas. In North America, they push on deer, bison, and even bears as they vie for carcasses and feeding grounds. Migratory routes of hoofed animals bend into new shapes. Grazing pressure rearranges grass and shrub patterns, and smaller herbivores shift their hours to avoid crowded ambush windows. The knock-on effects touch forestry, grazing leases, and park economies. A national park downgrades visitor capacity for safety. A rural region doubles its prevention costs. And conservation agencies recalibrate targets for safeguarding native predators already under pressure. An Ice Age animal, yes, but the bill lands in modern budgets. How do we respond? At first, with our usual tools, and they won't be enough. Wire snares set in the wrong places, ad hoc patrols, hunting rifles that hit heavy muscle at bad angles. Release a single guardian dog and it becomes a distraction, even a casualty. Low success isn't only about how strong Smilodon is, it's how smart a pack can be. One decoys, one blocks, one finishes. Any ranch that moves slowly pays with livestock. Any patrol that miscoordinates pays in risk, especially at night. Fear spreads faster than paw prints on dusty ground. Then we level up. Thermal drones track from above. Infrared lamps and acoustic cues create temporary sound walls. Pheromone lines nudge packs out of settled areas. Trank delivery gets cleaner, backed by protocols to revive and relocate animals safely. In protected areas, quick reaction teams behave like wildfire crews. Alert, cordon. Steer the pack with lights, vehicles, and controlled noise back towards safe zones. Conservation biology layers in careful trial ideas. Temporary hormone or immune interventions to tamp down aggression during breeding season. Genetic management to avoid inbreeding if populations are small. Always inside a strict ethical fence. And yes, some nights the pack still cuts the net, still slips the cordon, still roars from the dark like a dare. But reserves and neighboring communities learn the new rhythm. Prevention over punishment, systems over heroics. The pivot point is designing coexistence. For near-wild agriculture, restructure paddocks, bunch herds after dusk, add thermal watchtowers, and carve safe lanes of short grass near human activity to blunt ambush tactics. For tourism, rewrite the handbook. No outdoor cooking in buffer zones. No camping near water sources. No splitting groups after dark. Tour vehicles rated for impact and tire integrity, with guidance lights that don't trigger predators. For conservation, open migration corridors for large herbivores so hunts don't concentrate at fence lines. And create ecological voids, strips of low cover, around villages and outposts to neutralize Smilodon's ambush edge. As people adapt, collision rates drop. As collisions drop, the story shifts from fear to respect. In the end, if Smilodon were here, it wouldn't just be a cool page in a fossil book. It would be a test of how well we understand nature, our own limits, and the craft of rewriting the rules so different worlds can share one landscape. A pack-hunting ambusher with sabers as long as the planet's memory would force us to admit that real strength isn't in erasing what we fear. It's in drawing boundaries in the right place, at the right time. And if one night, out on a restless grassland, you hear a low rumble slide under the wind, remember, nature never really left. It changes shape, waits us out, and asks us to learn again how to walk beside it. Calm, informed, and humble enough to feel a little small in front of a killer from the deep past.